welcome back to Armchair Armory, and it has just finished. I've still got it on, but it's just finished at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 2, Sevilla 0. Firstly, I'm slightly shocked because I've just seen the Man United result, and around the 75th minute, something like that, they flashed up on the screen in the Arsenal game that it was 3-2 to United. Bruno Fernandes had scored a penalty, and they've actually lost the game 4-3, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm not a Man United fan, so I don't care that much, but it's just crazy. I have no idea what's going on with that club, seriously. But anyway, tonight's game, really good, complete performance. I think it was just what we need. Laura Woods just said it on TNT Sports here in the UK. It's just what the doctor ordered. I think it was defensively, attacking wise, I think we were outstanding today. I think we made Sevilla look worse than they actually are. And yeah, fair enough, we didn't win the game 3 or 4-0, but we did. The 2 goals we scored were really good. The first goal scored by Trossard was a great passage of play around the 29 half an hour mark, and then Saka cuts in on the inside of the penalty box and does what he does. Unfortunately, he went off towards the end of the game with a knock, so hopefully that isn't anything too serious, because we're kind of on our last legs now when it comes to injuries. We're really struggling when it comes to players. I think this is probably the worst I've ever seen Arsenal when it comes to injuries, probably ever in my lifetime of being an Arsenal fan. I have not seen us lose as many players as we have done this season. That's Arsene Wenger, Unai Emery, and now Mikel Arteta. But yeah, in general, it was a really, really good performance. I was really pleased with the way we played. I was pleased with the way that we nullified them defensively. I was pleased with Saliba and Declan Rice, who, let's be honest, have probably been our 2 best players this season so far. Saka and Martinelli, particularly Martinelli. Martinelli was unplayable today, which is really, really nice to see. So yeah, we need a point now to qualify for the next round, which in itself is a huge thing. I mean, we haven't qualified for the round of 16 of the Champions League since 2017, I want to say. So it's a pretty big deal. If we manage to win our next game, which is at home to Lens in the Champions League, then we're through to the next round. And yeah, that to me, that's a really big deal, because I was really worried going into this season. I thought, yeah, it's great that we're back in the Champions League, it's where we should be, that sort of stuff. But then you think about, I mean, I know that teams like Leicester and Newcastle, although Newcastle did have that mad game against PSG, haven't been in the Champions League. Well, in Leicester's case, they've never been in the Champions League, and Newcastle were only in the Champions League like once or twice, something like that. And you always think, when you haven't been in the Champions League for a long time, you're always worried that like the teams will just be slightly better than you because they've been in the Champions League more often. But really and truthfully, it's like we never left. Apart from that second half against Lens where we lost the game, I don't think we've played badly in this Champions League so far. It was a very disciplined away performance at Sevilla. It was a dominant, curtain raiser when we beat PSV at home, and this one was a complete performance as well. So far so good. It's now we need to. The thing that's kind of worrying is just the fact that we're not really translating this consistently in the league, and it might be because more that our first 11 are playing these games as well. I don't know, but yeah, it seems to not be translated in the league, not consistently anyway. We've had some good performances in the league, but I don't think we've been as kind of like free flowing and as firing as we were last season, which is fair enough. But as I said, like there was no guarantee and there was no right for us to be as good as we were last season. Things were always going to change tactically. Things were always going to change personnel wise. I always had a feeling that we'd be, there and thereabouts. I still think there's a good chance we'll finish in the top 4 at least, but I'm not sure about the league right now. But yeah, in terms of tonight, going back to tonight, tracking back slightly, yeah, I was pleased with the performance. Really happy with after the kind of controversy over the weekend with Newcastle. I think it was what we needed. We needed to go out and show that we're not hard done by, because that was another thing I was worried about, that we'd go with the hangover of St James's Park on our backs and go and, limp to a 1-0 defeat to Sevilla or something like that, and make our last 2 games in the Champions League a lot harder than they need to be. But fortunately, that hasn't happened. So we've kind of shown a bit of fight, and we need to continue that with Burnley. The good news is that everyone has now lost that is in the top 4. Spurs lost on Monday to Chelsea 4-1. I really do hope Chelsea fans aren't going crazy, because number one, Spurs lost 2 players, were down to 9 men, and secondly, like, the kind of contingency plan that Ange Postecoglou put in place when he lost those 2 players just didn't work. Like, every time Chelsea broke, they scored a goal, and they scored exactly the same goal, slightly modified for the final goal, but they scored pretty much the same goal every time. So it was almost as if, Postecoglou didn't do anything about that. He sort of allowed that to happen. So it was tactically wrong. So Spurs have now lost the game. City remain in their rightful place at the top of the league. So yeah, we've got to get back on it. We've got to, after the controversy and the disappointment of losing to Newcastle, we've now got to go on and put in a performance against Burnley at home. So yeah, but going back to tonight, yep, very happy, very pleased with how it went. Just need to get one more positive result and we're through to the next round, which is great after not being in the Champions League for so long. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I will be, Armchair Armory wise, I will be back again with a preview. I think the next game I will be doing, I've lost my trail of who we're playing next. Bear with me. This is very professional. So yeah, my next preview will be for Brentford for the 25th of November. So it'll be out a day before that game. But there won't be a preview or a reaction to the Burnley game, because unfortunately, being that it's 3:00, I can't watch it, and also even if I could, I've got plans that day anyway. So I unfortunately can't do a reaction, and so therefore the preview will just be Adjust the Sim from EA Sports 24. Right, as always, I'll leave it there. Take care and stay safe.